Are we live? Come on, YouTube. There we go. Acorn. I see the avatar has lost the vest. Yeah, it's summer. It's getting hotter. The AI had liberties of darkening the shoulders for some reason, so I'm not petty enough to fuck with it. I'm too cheap. Gemini tokens are... they go so fast. It's the sunburn on those shoulders. Yeah, like you can burn fur like you can skin. Hey, Mandy. So yeah, hopefully we can finish the rest of this mod up. Now, I'm willing to put in 2, the usual, maybe 3 if I'm feeling it. Tailbone's not feeling it. I had to do some weird body feng shui to get it to shut up for a bit. I think what I need to do is bring back those the stretching exercise, where I like manually stretch out the area around the tailbone again. Because it's not the nerve pinching, but it's general achiness. It just hurts. Haven't finished part 1, but is the guy is a private investigator or something? No. That's what I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like detective stuff. No. We still don't get our Snoot Noir yet. Kumo actually streamed last night and Bowie made an appearance. That's crazy. Did anyone ask what he's been up to? Bowie, I mean? He's not so smooth criminal. That's true. That was crazy to see Humo come back and streaming an old mod. Apparently he had the mod maker come on to talk too, which was crazy. I still don't have that kind of pull, man. But maybe it's for the best. Oh, would have been interesting. Protagonist looks like he's gonna work a security job for 5 nights at a kid's pizza parlor. There's like, what, 2 Snoot games that are doing that? Which I have no interest in, because the Freddy game loop is boring. It's just extreme micromanaging the game, and I hate that. Hey, War Theme. I don't think so, but a majority of those guys are doing Snoot projects like Encore and Devlog. Are you talking about just not being able to bring people onto the stream or something? Are you talking about, like, Bowie now working for, like, Encore or Devlog or something? That'd be crazy. We're hiring voice actors or something. I don't know. More voice actors. I mean, literally the sit and survive kind of gameplay. That's nuts. Yeah, just Freddy gameplay loop. Like, the only Freddy game that looks interesting to me is, what is it, FNAF World, which is like a... I guess it's a faster-paced RPG. It seems brain dead, but I'd be willing to give it a try. Let me get my water ready. Hey, Dr. Coconut. I think we'll get the game ready. No, that's not it. No, stop music. Thank you. Where'd it go? Okay, I think it's this one. Too many folders. That's loud for me. Any moment now, game. Oh, you know what? I put it in game originally, and I had to remove game when I did Fortnite. Or no, not Fortnite. The book game. Alright. So where did we leave off? Here in bed. We were about to... We just got done with the shower, so... And we're getting called out by Claudia. Mr. Doe! Lunch is ready if you're hungry. What excellent timing. I just hope it's something a bit more substantial than vegetable broth. It was good and all, but 3 days of that stuff has me at my limit as far as soup is concerned. It's this music, and I swear I've heard this song before. Was this in Dancing Towards Tomorrow? Could be wrong. As I enter, I see Malcolm sitting at the table and Claudia performing some final preparations on whatever is to be lunch. Take a seat, it's just about... done. With well-practiced motions, the pink parasaur performs a perilous balancing act of carrying the 3 plates to the table. Malcolm seems quite amused by the display of dexterity. I have to do Malcolm's voice. I don't even know what I did for his voice. I was trying to channel my inner gremlin. She deftly places the plates around the table with the skill befitting of most seasoned of waitresses. Yeah, that's how you know she's into drugs. Now the once vacant table has been set with 3 plates piled high with some very fresh-looking salads. Wow. This is the first one I've seen that didn't come in a little plastic box or bag. It actually looks appetizing. I started in on the leafy meal by stabbing bits of lettuce, tomato, and cucumber on my fork. It is good. Mr. Doe. Oh, let me guess. He didn't pray. They didn't open with grace. Oh boy. That's a drink right there. Wait a minute, single mom parasaur. Yeah, you weren't here last stream, were you? Mr. Doe. Would you like any dressing on your salad? Dressing? Oh, right. So she's asking for dressing. I don't know. I thought like wearing the cross she wears around her neck, they'd be opening with grace, but I guess not. People usually do that, don't they? He's just eating his vegetables raw. You gotta respect that, man. He just eats them straight up raw and doesn't even care. It's fine without any. You think so? You're kind of weird. Malcolm. He hasn't put ranch on his salad. Ranch is the best. You should use that one. I consider the suggestion and decide it's worth a shot. With a shrug, I signify my acceptance. I grab the bottle and place a dollop of ranch dressing on a portion of my meal. Taking a bite, the flavor is, well, it's going right. It's okay. It's certainly different, but probably best to play to the crowd. Yeah. I told you. It goes really good with veggie nuggets too. And carrots and... All right, Malcolm, let the man eat. Okay. Hey, you want to see my Hot Wheels after lunch? Malcolm. Insistent one, isn't he? So no one's praying. I guess we're not praying over the meal. Gotcha. I thought we'd at least try and save it, but I guess not. Single moms in your area. Now I've been suffering from constipation the last week. That sucks. Sure. The young parasaur boy bounces excitedly in his seat in response to my agreement. He also seems to take it as a sign to begin shoveling the leafy salad into his mouth as fast as possible. His mother briefly wears a look of frustration, but drops it in favor of bemusement when she sees I'm not offended. The only chastisement of the boy is, remember to breathe, Malcolm. Okay. The rest of the lunch passes quickly, and all plates being cleared in short order. I am dragged away by Malcolm to the living room and told to wait while he gets his collection. Claudia remains behind to clean the dishes while shaking her head slightly, commenting about that boy and his cars. She does at least give me an apologetic, if a bit amused, expression as I'm pulled away. Soon I'm sitting on the couch while Malcolm digs through a large red plastic bin filled with tiny toy vehicles. Do you know this one? Mazdasaurus MX-5 Roadster. Stole one of those in North Cambrielina. Sorry, I'm retarded. Sold it to a chop shop for some quick cash. Malcolm's eyes light up as he nods, and he extracts another and shows it to me. What about this one? Toyota Don 2000 GT. Stole that one in Tirana Sea. Liked it too. Stuck with it for a few states before I had to ditch it. It was drawing too much attention. One after another, the young parasaur boy extracts a card and bids me to identify it. However, his questions changed from identifying the cars to whether I had driven them. Uh-oh, here we go. Which any car that I can identify just so happens to be one I also drove away with. Mister, how did you drive so many cars? Where'd you get that money? So while I'm only identifying about 1 in every 4 cars, this is enough to convince the boy that I am an expert. Which naturally brings different questions. How'd you drive so many cars, Mr. Doe? Are you a race car driver? I have to be careful here. It's not just that I have to make up something believable, but something that can't be looked up later either. Something that leaves plenty of room for bullshitting and something that nobody really keeps a track of. A job that is also... You just say he's a valet driver, I guess. A job that is also doesn't leave much of a paper trail. No. Not a race car driver. I was A mechanic? No, a delivery man? Malcolm, stop interrupting. Claudia rests against the wall of the hallway, observing me and Malcolm's exchange. Judging by the smile on her face, she had been enjoying listening to me and the boys' conversation for some time. Sorry, Mom. It's fine, just remember to show a little patience. Go ahead, Mr. Doe. I was a test driver. a test driver. Oh, okay. Freelance. Traveled around a lot. Usually tested stunt cars. Wow! That's the coolest thing ever! I want to do that when I grow up. Mom! Can I be a test driver when I grow up? Let's get you past elementary school first. Which I remind you start back up again tomorrow. So after dinner will be bedtime. Ah! School's boring. Now. School can be tons of fun. Lots of friends to make and things to learn. Yeah, I guess. Hey, at least you don't have to go back to work tomorrow like I do. I'd be okay with that if I was a test driver. Claudia rolls her eyes and gives a faint laugh. Go on and clean up your toys, and then we can all watch a movie together after. That should put us right around dinner time. Okay. The young parasaur obediently begins to gather up his toys and then departs back to his room. His mother gently pats him on his head as he passes her by before turning her attention towards me. So, how are you finding things so far? Oh, it's only been a half a day, but I gotta say, it's been shaping up to be one of the best ones in recent memory. Good. Just good. Shower was nice. Food was good. Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that. And you're a test driver, huh? Yes. I knew you and Malcolm would get along. Better be careful, though. He may just try and keep you locked up in that toy box of his. Locked up. Interesting turn of phrase. Well, anyway, I was thinking, how about you pick the movie for us? Me? Well, normally I'd let Malcolm choose, but seeing how you're the guest, I figure, why not let you get a turn in now? If you even want to watch a film that is... Wait, is what? Oh, if you want to watch a film, that is. I thought she was going to say like a film that was super gory or something and would scar Malcolm. If you prefer, we could do something else. Probably wouldn't surprise her to hear that I haven't seen too many movies in my life. Actually, wait. I don't think I ever have. Huh. I guess I was always too busy surviving to really make the time. That and being on the road. Spent a lot of time doing that. Anyway. Guess it's about time I watch my first movie now that I have the time. It's okay. I'll find something. I'll leave you to it then. They're all in the cabinet under the TV. There should be something in there that you should like. Hopefully. I do sorta pick through the donation pile for them. And while you do that, I'll see if I remember to buy some popcorn. Oh boy, here we go. All right, get ready for more parodies. Oh good, Mom isn't the type to say, oh, you can be whatever you want, but die dock points for saying school is fun. Hey, Sabik. Wait, why is his head situated on her breast level? What? Hold on. I guess so. Sorry, I don't pay attention to those kind of things that often. I gotta be the reader here, guys. Creaking open the small TV cabinet reveals two baskets within. One filled with video games for Malcolm's Nintendo box? Is that what that cube thing is called? Anyway, the other basket has a small number of DVDs in it. It doesn't take long to scan through the titles and narrow it down to 3 options that spark some interest. The first is a fantasy movie about a girl trying to save her baby brother from a very glamorous-looking Saurian man. Now, is that, Labyrinth? Labyrinth? Apparently, it's quite famous for its use of puppets and costumes, yep. Maybe Malcolm will like this one. It seems aimed towards kids. The second one is an older live-action comic book movie that is vibrantly colored and very stylized. The main character is a Saurian detective in a bright yellow coat and fedora. What is this, Dick Tracy or whatever his name is? That one guy? A movie about a super cop catching funny-looking crooks. Super cop. I feel like I shouldn't like this. But I do really like the aesthetic it has going on. Third option is a movie depicting a Saurian woman descending from the sky via an umbrella. Is this Mary Poppins? Apparently the movie has segments where live action and cartoon animation is combined, which was very impressive at the time. If I had to guess, this would be Claudia's preference. It's bright, cheerful, and stars a kind-hearted woman that helps those in need. A bit on the nose, though. Is it actually going to let me choose? Because I'm going to have to go and look through all these, aren't I? Man's got his priorities. Del Toro is always making movies of women. Okay. a FOMO. Anyways, I can hear them coming. What to pick? Yeah, it was totally going to be my pick, wasn't it? We'll just play it safe with Labyrinth. Not like a movie about a labyrinth. Well, 2 on the nose. Let's go with this one. Seems nice and whimsical. Okay. This one seems good. Let's just put in the DVD player, grab the remote controllers, and... I'm surprised they could put it into a DVD player, Mr. I don't play movies. I barely have time for TV. I barely even know the name of the video game box that Malcolm plays. But okay. Benefit of the doubt. Suspension of disbelief. I should be good to go. Sure enough, as soon as I sit back down, the 2 parasaurs enter back into the room, heralded by the smell of popcorn. The pink-scaled parasaur mother carries a decently sized bowl of the buttery snack with her. Well, Malcolm eyes it eagerly. All set? Yes. The bowl containing the popcorn is placed, rather precariously, between us. They got a special Sprite for that, too. The pair of paras take the opposite end of the couch as their spot, as they leisurely nestle in together. Comfy? Yeah! Well then, Mr. Doe, if you could do the honors. I respond with an affirmative nod as I press the play button on the remote. And the movie begins to roll. Oh, it's been a while since I've seen this one. And so we sat together watching the film, a healthy separation between us. The 2 parasaurs on one end of the couch and myself on the other. Is this going to be an illusion of choice? Well, the movie was certainly engaging. I don't really know what sort of response I was supposed to have towards it. I keep expecting some kind of noise or reaction from the other 2 for some kind of guidance, but they're as silent as I am. Are we supposed to be interacting with one another? Should I look at them to see what they're doing? Watch them move. That's not creepy. Yeah, let's watch the movie. Remember that you're trying to get on Claudia's good side, and it's probably best not to stare too hard at her and her son. Yeah, that's creepy. Besides, if they're being quiet, then that just means I'm doing as they do. So no problems. I refocus my attention on the movie. It's pretty good. About 2 hours later, yeah, it's gonna be an illusion of choice. It doesn't matter what movie, right? Yawning Sprite. She's gonna blow! Yawn. Well, that was a fun time, wasn't it? Yeah! Thanks for picking out the movie, Mr. Doe. No problem. It was good. Oh, had you never seen it before? No. Is that so? Well, what did you think? Oh yeah, here's where the dialogue would change. The puppets were very interesting. Songs were hit or miss. But it was very impressively made. Yeah! The puppets were awesome! Well, it's around time to get dinner started. I'll go freshen up and then get going on that. Can I play on the TV until then? I'm just making spaghetti. It won't take that long. But, okay. Don't get too invested. Okay. Come on, I'll show you, like, video games. Sounds like we're in for some more downtime. So sure, why not? Okay, what game is he gonna boot in? I gotta judge him. I'm gonna judge his video game taste. You know what? Props for not having, like, the modern console for him to play Fortnite or Roblox. So, points... Better than Vinny. Better than Vinny. Well, if there's not anything else, I guess I'll get to it. I'll be right over there in the kitchen for a bit if you need anything, okay? I nod my understanding to Claudia, and she returns it with her usual smile and a nod of her own before turning and leaving. Right. So about this video game thing. How is that going to work? This is a good one! Malcolm quickly settles back into the couch with the controller in his hand and then gestures for me to sit next to him. No sooner had I done so, the young boy began explaining the intricacies of the game. Is this just freeware music, or is this an actual game song? Because I don't recognize it. Its controls, what the things appearing on the screen are, and even bits of what could be called its lore. You gotta get around the end of the level while collecting coins and mushrooms so you can save the princess. Okay, so it's just Mario. They played it safe with Mario. Well, the only Mario on GameCube was Sunshine, wasn't it? There was, like, no remasterings of anything on the GameCube. Unless you want to play, like, Luigi's Mansion, Smash Brothers, or the multitude of Mario sports games. Of course you chose Labyrinth because David Bowie is awesome. No, I chose it because I liked that movie as a kid. Now, I had, like, it was a long period of my life where I forgot all about Labyrinth, and when I, like, thought about it, it felt like a fever dream. And you gotta hop on these turtles or you'll die, unless you have a mushroom that makes you big. You gotta get their shells to throw at the other guys. This sounds like an older Mario, because I don't think you can, like... Were there even Koopas in Sunshine? Were there Koopas in Sunshine? Or am I, like, misremembering? Malcolm progresses through several levels at a decent pace. Not flawlessly, of course, but I'm in no position to judge. After completing the third level, the young boy suddenly presents the controller to me. Oh boy, here we go. You wanna play? I hadn't expected he'd offer. He seemed to really enjoy explaining things, and I was just fine just listening. But it seemed simple enough, so... okay. I take hold of the controller and do my best to select the first level. The game, which apparently revolves around a human in overalls jumping on turtles, is indeed simple. But it is made difficult without being acquainted with the buttons. I fumble with the controls and die numerous times as I awkwardly figure out the basics of moving and jumping. You should have just gave him a racing game. You think the guy... You think the kid with, like, the collections of, like, Hot Wheels cars would have a few racing games on the GameCube. No, he chooses Mario. Like, I'm not dunking on his game tastes, but you think he'd come out with, like, a Hot Wheels game. Was there a Hot Wheels game on GameCube? Oh, I don't have my phone. Shit. I'll be right back. And I just got comfortable, too. Alright. I have Google. Let me get my earbuds on. I will consult Google. Was there ever a Hot Wheels game on GameCube?
Yes, there were actually 2 Hot Wheels games released for the Nintendo GameCube. Hot Wheels Velocity X, 2002, a mission-based vehicular combat game. Hot Wheels World Race, 2003, a racing game based on the Highway 35 animated movie.
Okay, so why doesn't Malcolm have these games? He definitely has Double Dash, probably. Poor crashing out on the youth and their choices in games. No, I'm crashing out because, like, it'd make more sense for the kid who's into cars to have some car games, you know? I don't know. Kind of like me and my JRPGs. But then again, you don't do JRPGs in real life. I don't know. I fumble with the control. Oh, I read that. Malcolm only seems to get more excited as I stumble through the level. He begins coaching me in ever-increasing intervals in volume. Wow, we got a backseat gamer here. Let me try and blow my nose real quick. Yeah, I didn't do no nose flushing today because it didn't help the last stream. It's a process, but eventually... Yeah! You did it! So I did. It's fun, right? It was more enjoyable than I was expecting. I don't know if I'll make a habit out of it, though. Yes. Then you should meet Tiffany! Oh, who is Tiffany again? I forget who that was. They were mentioned before. Is that one of Malcolm's friends, I assume? I heard that name brought up before. Malcolm's babysitter, as I recall. Oh boy. I'm bound to meet her at some point, so I may as well ask about her. Tiffany? She's really cool and has, like, all the best games ever. I usually get off the school bus with her and stay at her house until Mom gets back from work and picks me up. So I guess Tiffany is also a school buddy. Here, I was hoping she'd be older, but whatever. She comes over sometimes too, because she lives over in the next street. Good to know. Although she doesn't sound too terribly older than Malcolm. Don't know how much help she'll be. Maybe I should try to avoid her. It'd just be another yet person that knows about me. I like to avoid that as much as possible. Malcolm, dinner's ready. Turn off the game and go wash up. Okay. You can go ahead. I'll turn off the game. He hates kids. The babysitter. The babysitter is not who I'd hoped it'd be. I nod and proceed to the kitchen. On the table, 3 plates of spaghetti with tomato sauce are waiting. Another dish I've never had before. Like, I feel like this guy just eats MREs. That's all he eats. Of course, when all you eat are MREs, like, anything tastes amazing. Dinner moves along very similarly to lunch, although with slightly less conversation. I mean, he's talking spaghetti he's never had before, but like there's like cans of that shit for like less than $1 at the supermarket. You just eat. I could picture this guy just eating it straight from the can. I don't know, man. Dinner moves along very similarly to lunch, although with slightly less conversation. Malcolm and Claudia both seem a bit more interested in eating it this time around. Although the Parasaur mother didn't fail to notice my awkwardness at navigating the meal. She didn't call attention to it, but she didn't hide her amusement either. After dinner concluded, she asked if I would like to help her wash the dishes. Wanting to be helpful, and also because I foresaw doing this a lot in the future, I agreed. Malcolm, meanwhile, was told to get ready for bed, which he did happily. Possibly because I had just agreed to do a job usually meant for him. It was a smooth process. Claudia washed the dish while I put it on the drying rack. The ins and outs of the chore weren't difficult to memorize. It also helped there weren't that many dishes to worry about either. And we're done. Thank you, Mr. Doe. Hardly did anything. Oh, well, it was mostly so you'd know how to do it yourself. You're going to be by yourself quite a bit in the upcoming days, so I figured it'd be good to show you 1 or 2 things. I'll be at work most of the day, and Malcolm will be at school or Tiffany's house for about as long. It's a long time to not be able to ask any questions about where things are or how they work. I'll keep myself tidy. Oh, I wasn't worried about that. Honestly, I'm more concerned you're just going to get bored. There really isn't a whole lot to do around here, unless you like video games. I'm sure you've noticed that our home is a bit, sparse. I had indeed. There aren't even any picture frames anywhere. Which is quite odd, seeing as how prevalent camera phones are and how cheap it is to print off photos. But she seems to be feeling talkative at the moment. This seems like a good opportunity to fish some information out of her. Just have to not overdo it. It's a nice house. I like it here. Better than a car. You're certainly right about that. It is certainly nicer than living out of a car. There's that look again. Like there's a memory getting brought back to the surface. I think Miss Grant's living situation may not have always been so cozy and secure. Well, anyway, I'm glad you like it. I owe it all to Minnie and Father Xander in actually getting it. They were a huge help. In fact, just about everything here is a bit of a hand-me-down from them or the church, now that I think about it. Good friends to have. Oh, absolutely. I don't know where I'd be without them. Sounds like she may not have a lot of money to throw around. But it also doesn't seem like she's struggling that badly. Especially with friends like Xander and Minnie. He only eats gas station breakfast burgers, something like that. Damn peculiar that she doesn't want people who helped her get a home helping with this issue of hers. What is it that she can't trust them with? So, how was your first day, Ben? Do you think you'll be comfortable here? Yes, I think so. I like the food. Oh no, laughing sprite. The comment coaxes a short string of pleasant laughter out of the woman. Haha, thanks. Usually the only person who tells me that is Malcolm. Although it does remind me that I do have a bit of shopping this week. We're just about through the food we had in stock. But I can bring home some leftovers from work until I can get a trip together. Unless you're willing to put up with nothing but peanut butter and jelly sandwiches until then. I can live with that. You know, I've been getting that impression about you. Ha ha ha. Ha. Well, it's an early day tomorrow for Malcolm and I, so it's off to bed for us. Feel free to stay up as long as you want, but I do ask you keep the noise down. I'll be up for a little bit after I tuck Malcolm in, so if there's any last-minute questions you have, just ask. Sorry. Where'd that come from? Here, get some water. Will do. Good night, Mr. Dow. Miss Claudia. Yes? You can call me Win. Really? I didn't want to presume, but if it's really alright... If I'm going to be staying, it's easier to just call me Win. Okay. Well then. Good night, Win. Good night. Let me guess, demo ends. I think I'll head to bed myself. I've got some long days ahead of me too. That would probably be the perfect time to end it. As I walk back to my room, I overhear Claudia talking to Malcolm at the end of the hall. I pause for a moment and listen in a moment of curiosity. It sounds like she's reading some kind of fairy tale to him. Something about a princess being the captive of a dragon. I don't linger too long once I understand what she's saying. I'd rather not insert myself into something like that. I enter the room and climb into the bed that Claudia has prepared for me. Is the window open? It's not anything amazing, but it's better than a car seat put into recline. As I lay there, beginning to drift, I reflect on my first day with Claudia. One of the best days on record, quite frankly. More than one meal today, I had a shower, and there's a bed waiting for me. At the promise of more of the same tomorrow. There may be something to the whole home ownership and putting down stakes thing I keep hearing about. Granted, it is marred somewhat. I've agreed to stay in one place while being hunted by man-eating mobsters. Which isn't playing well with my instinct to just grab the money, steal a car, and get the hell out of here. Let's just hope Xander was telling the truth when he said I would be safe here. I shift in my bed as I feel my eyelids grow heavy, and help Claudia with whatever her problem is. Which I don't think I've seen the whole picture quite yet, but I'm pretty sure I could see the outline of it. Specifically, the absence of someone. The father! But I'll save thinking about that for tomorrow. I'm going to have plenty of time to myself going forward. Plenty of time. As sleep begins to take hold of me, I find my last conscious thoughts focus on the two parasaurs. Maybe staying with them won't be so bad. They really are some nice people. Oh, okay. So we're not ending. Let's go. 4 days later. You have at least another 3 hours. That's crazy. Absolutely nuts. My recovery during the week has been a great success. With Claudia performing occasional checkups and guiding my recuperation, I'm now back at 100%. And I could feel the mucus crawling through my throat, and it sucks. I should really probably invest in like some kind of like sinus medicine. Like, my god, I it sucks. Because I don't want to be like snorting and hacking on fucking stream, especially with this. It's embarrassing. It's undignified. The once debilitating pain has now become a faint, sore memory. I've since become slightly more proactive around the house. I've taken on doing most of the basic house chores, such as vacuuming and sweeping, as well as washing the dishes. Partially because I'm trying to be helpful to get on Claudia's good side, but mostly because I'm feeling a whole new emotion. Boredom. As it turns out, you can only sleep so much in one day before you get tired of that as well. And despite her protest that I don't need to do the chores because I'm her guest, she does seem to appreciate the extra bit of housekeeping. Malcolm is less bashful about expressing his gratitude to me for doing all his chores for him. He's gonna grow up to be lazy. Over the course of these past days, I started to become familiar with the house's usual routine. A routine I was slowly becoming integrated into. Oh, she's got new clothes. She's got the heiress drip. Kind of. The day would start with me waking up around the same time as Claudia. Coffee would get made. She would make something simple but filling for breakfast. After a cup of coffee to wake her up, she would then go rouse Malcolm and then dress for work. Afterwards, she'd return about the same time as Malcolm entered the kitchen and they'd eat together. Well, I've been mostly an observer to this. Lately, I've been asked to occasionally toast some bread or prep the coffee pot. Small things like that. I must confess I am coming to enjoy these quiet mornings. The smell of breakfast foods and coffee are particularly pleasant, although the change in my diet is still quite jarring to me. Having real meals, albeit vegetarian ones, is taking some getting used to. Claudia is even kind enough to bring some meat dishes back from work for me. That's the most variety of food I've ever had in my life. After breakfast, Claudia and Malcolm prepared to depart for work and school respectively. Did you say no dialogue? Malcolm is the first to go, as Claudia makes sure every morning to watch him get onto the bus. After he is safely away, she returns just long enough to wish me a good day and wave goodbye. Win? Or so I thought. Yes. I'm sorry to have to ask this of you, but I'm going to be working later than usual tonight. It would really help me out if, around the time I usually get back home, you go to Tiffany's and, bring him home. Yeah. But you don't have to come back immediately. It's okay if you hang out with him and Tiffany there for a little while. Be sure to bring him back in time for dinner, which you two will have to figure out for yourselves. I won't be back until it's time to put him to bed. So, could you please? Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Win. It really does give me some peace of mind. I'll be sure to get you something special from the grill. Happy to help. Claudia lets out a heavy but relieved sigh. Right. Time to get back to the old grindstone, then. And seriously, Win, thank you. Agreeing to help her really does seem to have lifted a weight off her shoulders. Which is a bit odd. I don't really get why it'd be so important. From what I've seen from the past couple of days, all she does when she gets home is change into casual clothes, wait around in the living room for a bit, and then goes to pick up Malcolm. Well, odd. There's other issues that I need to focus on for the time being. Like how I need to get some kind of transportation sorted out. Well, isn't it just down the street? Oh, if I plan to get out of here in a hurry, then it's better to have something ready. I might not have time to break into and hot wire a car, however. Nor do I want to just buy one. I don't want to leave any kind of paper trail. Besides that, if I did want to buy a car, I'd have to find some way to get to downtown. But that's well within Alphonse's territory, so doing anything there is rather dicey. Something to think about. For now, though, I should find something to do with my day. I could go poking around in Claudia's room for hints at this problem of hers, but I would like to know what I'm looking for first. Recklessly rooting through her stuff would probably get noticed, and I have a whole lot of explaining to do. Easier to wait for the problem to rear its head and go from there. Which leaves me to the question of, what am I going to do today? I guess I could watch another movie. Or play that video game of Malcolm's again. I've gotten better at it. Or maybe the race... Oh, there we go. The racing one that has the same characters. Double Dash. Several hours later. Just playing the game. I'm getting pretty good at this. Well, it's about time to go pick up Malcolm. He spent his whole day just gaming. That's crazy. I say as a gamer myself. A bit past time, actually. Whoops. I didn't even notice. Let's just shut that down and get over there. What the? That phone works? It's the first time I heard it ring. I suppose it'll have to do if she bothered to plug it in. I kind of thought this was just here for show or something. I don't think I've seen Claudia use a cell phone, but I did assume she had one. Guess I was wrong. And unless she's hiding one in her room, I haven't seen anything resembling a computer either. I'm surprised she couldn't get anything better, even as a donation or hand-me-down. Between that safe and this phone, I seem to be running into a lot of antiques lately. The phone seems to have an inbuilt answering machine at least, so the recorder can get it and Claudia can listen to it later. Now to get going and pick up Malcolm. You fucking bitch! So is this the phone? Are we is this the ex-boyfriend? Oh boy, here we go. You fucking bitch! I know you're listening, you dumb cunt. What in the goddamn? I know you can hear me. And don't think you can fucking ignore me either. Now listen close. Oh wait, is this Alphonse? Uh-oh. Or no, the text would be bigger, wouldn't it? It's either they know we're here, or it's like a ex-husband. A man's voice hissed through the speaker and began to spout the most vile things I've ever heard. Debauched accusations, so yeah, it's probably the ex-husband. Venomous insults. Some of the most contemptible slander imaginable one could spew forth. It was no mere prank caller either. This voice knew Claudia and Malcolm both by name, so yeah, this is the ex-husband. And the capstone to this poisonous call was a threat. And remember, Claudia, if you tell anyone, I'll make sure that cunt kid of yours goes bye-bye. Gone. As in you'll never see his stupid fucking face again, you understand? The last thing you'll see of him will be him crying boo-hoo-hoo as he's thrown into foster care. And you? I'll let that be a surprise. Ha 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 ha. Talk to you again sometime, you stupid bitch. Click. I think I found Claudia's problem. I suppose this explains a few things. Specifically why Claudia always seems to linger around the phone when she gets home. Why she wanted me to get out of the house at such a specific time. And that threat at the end. I guess the old priest had his reasons, not just telling me what the issue was after all. She's probably already on edge, having told Xander. I'll take a moment and then play the message again. This time, I listen to the voice, analyzing it. I memorize the sound of the man's voice, cadence of speech, the aspects of the message that can be used to identify him. Listening to the screed a second time is no less unpleasant, and unfortunately doesn't tell me much about the caller. All I truly learn is his voice, and that he seems to have intimate knowledge about Claudia and Malcolm. I'll have to ruminate on what I've heard later, however. I'm already late on picking up Malcolm. Best not to keep him waiting too long. But what to do about the message? Oh, wow. Leave it. I may need to listen to it later. Or even confront Claudia about it. Or you could just say you never heard it at all, but then again, it wouldn't be a new message because he heard it. So this is probably going to come up, this is probably going to bite us in the ass either way. Because it's not going to be a new message and she's not going to see it. Time to get going. This is my first trip to Tiffany's house. First time meeting the girl in question, too. Oh boy, here we go. Her home is one street down from Claudia's house, but given the suburban nature of the area, it's still a bit of a walk. It was still only 5 or so minutes, but going over that message in my head made the trip feel far longer. Well, if this guy had Claudia's phone number, he probably also knows where she lives. He also seems to know about when Claudia gets home, but not her exact schedule, as evident by assuming she was there. And he seems to have no small amount of contempt for Malcolm. I don't think it's a great leap in logic to presume that this mystery caller is the boy's father. But why the harassing phone calls? Why the abuse? Why risk exposing himself like that? Unless he just enjoys it. Maybe. The real question I have to consider is if I should even bother with it. It's not really my problem. Not yet, anyway. I was only just starting to sort out my thoughts by the time I arrived at my destination. Malcolm had been quite descriptive about the residence, so it's easy enough to find. Here we are. Nice place. If I was still looking for places to burgle, I might have given this place a look. Fortunately for all of us, that's no longer necessary. Well, let's get this over with. As I approach the door, I hear the telltale sounds of jovial shouts of children mixed with music and noise of video games. Sounds like they're having fun in there. Hope I'm not interrupting. Sound coming from within diminished, and I hear the soft padding of feet on the opposite side of the door. Oh boy. Hello? Tiffany? Yeah? I'm Wing. Wing? Oh. You're the human guy staying at Malcolm with his mom. Yes. Cool. Malcolm has been talking about you a lot the last couple of days. What's up? His mother asked me to pick him up today. She did? Yes, the morning before work. This morning before work. It's just a sec. Hey, Malcolm. Yeah? Oh, hi, Win. Hello. Your mom mentioned this guy picking you up? Oh, yeah. She said she'd be home late tonight. Sorry. I forgot. No problem, bro. Guess we're done for the day, though. Oh, but you were just about to beat the bots. We can stay. We can? Your mother wants you home by dinner. She even mentioned spending extra time here. We still have an hour or so if you wanted to stay. You hear that, dude? Yeah! Race you back to the couch. Come on in, dude. You're letting all the cold air in. Onwards, I guess. Are you mad? Do not redeem. Remember, Malcolm, always redeem. Oh boy. I got pictures everywhere. The interior of the Raptor Girl's house is a stark contrast to Claudia's. No wall is barren. Everything looks new. The TV takes up most of the entire wall, which is displaying a video game that looks far more complicated than the one I had been playing earlier. Win, come on! After taking a seat next to the boy, he refocuses his attention on the screen in the game Tiffany is playing. The Raptor Girl was the only one playing the game, but Malcolm was just as excited as if he was playing too. Well, the game does look quite interesting. I can't make heads or tails of what was going on. The main character is some spiky-haired Saurian boy wearing a strange outfit with a lot of zippers on it. So this is Final Fantasy, huh? Or no, the Kingdom Hearts. It's probably Kingdom Hearts. But don't tell Crescenario. He's aided by two cartoon characters I've seen in one of the DVDs at Claudia's. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts. And he's swinging around an incredibly odd-looking weapon called a lock sword. So, win, right? Yes. Malcolm says you showed up at church all beat up. Is that true? Another round of questions. I suppose it is to be expected, but I'd still rather I didn't have to keep doing this. Hopefully it's brief. Yes. Gnarly. Is that why you talk like, you know, Dracula and stuff? Dracula? Yeah, like the first guy that played him, the black and white one. You know, that guy. Minus the accent. I have no idea who she's talking about. Regardless, I don't think I talk like whoever she's speaking of because of the injuries from that night. No. I do not believe so. Huh. Well, whatever. So what happened anyway? Someone kick your butt or something? Mom says that Win had a concussion and that's why he can't remember stuff. Concussion. Yeah, concussion. Oh, so you have, like, amnesia from bumping your head? A bump to the head is a good enough excuse, I guess. It's been convincing enough so far. Yes. Damn, dude, that sucks. You must have screwed with the wrong guy if you got wrecked so hard you got amnesia from it. She's more right than she knows. I might just hold the record of lived the longest after stealing from Alphonse. What's amnesia mean? It's like total or partial loss of memory. Yeah, that. Oh! So I had amnesia when I forgot to tell Tiffany you were coming over. Ha! Yeah, dude, just like that. Just like how I keep getting amnesia when doing my math homework. The pair of Saurian children enter into a fit of laughter and begin listing off other things they get amnesia about. Chores, schoolwork, listening to parents. Actually, speaking of parents. Tiffany? Yeah? Are your parents okay with me being here? I don't know. Guess I'll ask them when they get home. Wynn doesn't want to impose. True, there's that, but I also don't want them to come home and see a strange man in their house with their daughter. I may not be the most socially aware person, but I at least appreciate how that might look. Don't sweat it, dude. We all go to the same church, and we all heard about you staying with Miss Claudia. Besides, Malcolm says you're cool. I suppose if she says there's no issue, then I don't need to worry. Probably. Eventually, the conversation subsides and they both refocus on the game. Malcolm leans into it and rests against Tiffany's back. Leans into and rests against Tiffany's back. She doesn't seem to mind it, though. In fact, she seems to improve her performance in the game. The rest of the hour is dominated by Malcolm and I watching Tiffany play. The boy occasionally cheering some accomplishment, or Tiffany bantering with him. Once in a while, the young Parasaur would look my way for a moment as if he was checking to see if I was having fun too. He evidently thought I was, as he would quickly smile and then return to watching what was happening on the TV. Eventually, the time comes to leave. You need to leave! The game is shut down, and the children begin a well-practiced routine. Malcolm waits by the door, while Tiffany grabs a winter jacket and an odd but warm-looking hat. Well, two hats. One seems to be for his tail? You mean her tail? Oh, it's Malcolm. Oh, wait. Tiffany grabs a winter jacket on but warm-looking hat. Well, two hats. One seems to be for his tail. Is it Malcolm's tail or Tiffany's? What's going on here? When the young raptor girl sets about helping him to put on his various winter clothes. Oh yeah, because we're dressing Malcolm to go home, not... Tiffany's not getting winter clothes to go hang out with Malcolm at Claudia's. Okay, I'm just retarded. Then the young raptor girl sets about helping him to put on his various winter clothes. Once he is properly dressed, I open the door and lead him outside. Oh god. What is that hat? There is a tail hat too. Huh. Bye, Tiffany. Catch you later, bro. Say hi to your mom for me. Okay. And see you later too, big guy. Don't either of you get amnesia on the way back home. Ha ha ha. Ready to go? Yeah. The walk back to Malcolm's house takes longer than the one getting to Tiffany's. Sentencing. In no small part due to the boy's diminutive steps. It's almost more difficult reducing speed to keep pace with someone. Oh, he's got his escort mission. Hey, Win? Yes? Did you like meeting Tiffany? She seems nice. Yeah. She's really cool. She could sing, too. She knows all the songs in Kingdom Souls. She's really good. I hope I hear her sometime. Are you coming to church with me and Mom? She sings in the choir? Yeah! You can hear her there. I hadn't considered going. However, it'd probably help gain trust with Claudia if I participated. Oh boy, we're going to church! And I think me and Xander have a few things we need to talk about. Yes. I'll go with you. The young boy turns his attention back to his feet, but smiles a little wider at the news. Cool! And maybe after that we can play more video games, or with toys, or hang out with Tiffany. Malcolm continues to list of various possible activities. That's a sentence. Most of them aren't particularly appealing to me, but I occasionally nod and agree in order to appease him. The conversation may not be the most interesting, but it does make the slow pace of our walk less dull. And before long, we arrive back at the boy's house. Back again. Hard to think it's only been an hour. Felt like a lot longer. So I'm wondering if there's going to be more messages. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now I decide what to do about that phone call. Malcolm, get away from the phone. Claudia will probably want to talk when she gets home, even if it's just to say hello. That may be the best time to confront her about it. Even if I want to do so. Okay, he's just taking off his coat. Do I really have to get involved? That may have to depend on Claudia's reaction if I tell her, or what I can learn from Xander. Whatever the case, I need to... Win! What? What's for dinner? Alright, dinner. What is for dinner? I don't recall seeing any microwave meals from Claudia's last shopping trip. Let's go look. Right, so let's see what we got to work with. Let's start by checking the freezer and fridge. However, the appliance is barren, save for some ice cubes, milk, and a few bottles of salad dressing. I then rummaged through the various cabinets and cupboards where I seen Claudia store most of the food. I find plenty of dry goods within, but they're all ingredients or components parts for dishes. And it's only now, when sorting through these items, that I realize something. I don't know how to cook any of this stuff. It all needs to be boiled or sautéed. Do you saute pasta? I desperately scan the shelves for something that has microwave instructions written on them. Or at least something that doesn't require more than 2 steps to prepare. Fortunately, there's still some breakfast cereal. Just enough for 2 bowls. Perfect. A couple of bowls of this should do just fine. Yeah, the sugar is gonna keep them up, buddy. I'm sure Claudia will appreciate that one. There's even milk to go with it. That sort of counts as cooking a meal. Right. I present the box to the boy for approval. He stares at it for a moment, contemplative expression briefly covering his face before it gets replaced by a broad smile. It's gonna be like the sugary cereal with the fucking marshmallows to keep him fucking wired. Yeah! Oh good, that solves that problem then. Can we watch cartoons too? If it keeps Malcolm entertained until his mother gets home, then I don't see why not. Sure. The young parasaur lets out another excited cheer and eagerly bounces in his chair in anticipation. Dinner having been decided, the bowls are assembled and served. Malcolm leads the way to the living room where I take my seat while he loads the DVD player with a disc. Malcolm takes position on the floor, mere feet away from the television. Oh boy, Malcolm's looking a bit rough. He's got the Cloud Strife hairstyle drip. Soon the screen comes alive with colorful dancing cartoon insects. Oh no, bug fables. No, it's probably, what is it, well, it's cartoon, so it's not Bug's Life. The show in question is about a blue beetle child named Bluggy and her family. Oh, is this Bluey? Is this a parody of Bluey? Awful. Total Bluey death. I watched and listened closely, particularly to the various morals that came at the end. How many episodes are we watching? Man, Claudia must be really late. Like, isn't after dinner time supposed to be bedtime? Like, she's gonna be pissed. With the hope, of course, that these morals would help me to navigate future social situations better. As the episodes came and went, he repositioned to sit next to me on the couch. I thought nothing of it until one particular episode when I felt a small weight lean onto my arm. What the? What's going on? Why is he... Glancing between him and the scene playing on the TV, I was met with a scene that answered my question. The episode was showing a bonding moment between Bluggy and her father, in a pose very similar to the one I and Malcolm were in. He must be imitating the cartoon. There's no way he's seen me like that. It hasn't even been a whole week. It's... Should I do anything? Fortunately, I am spared from deciding how to react by a conveniently timed return. The front door opens and a very tired-looking Claudia enters, and Malcolm springs up to greet her. Mom! Hey, Blitzy. He looks so malnourished. Bluey is slightly unrealistic, parenting-wise, but good overall. Hey there, baby. I was expecting you to be in bed when I got back. Me and Win were watching Bluggy. I was gonna go to bed right after. Really? Uh-oh. Yeah? Uh-huh. I'll let it slide tonight because you really meant it. Now go get cleaned up and into your pajamas. Okay. Go on, I'll be around to tuck you in a bit. Oh boy, here we go. I'm glad to see you two are getting along so well. You handled dinner okay? Yes. What did you what did you decide on making? Cereal. The parasaur woman lets out a small huff through her nose. Well, he's probably going to have trouble getting to bed tonight, but it's not the end of the world. I apologize if I messed up. Don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. I should have been a bit more specific. Although, I thought we had a decent chunk of food left in the cabinet. I'm not misremembering that, am I? You do. I just don't know how to cook. The parasaur woman lets out a heavy sigh as she stares pitifully at me. I suppose I'll just have to remember to write down some basic recipes for you next time. That would help. I'll jot down a few simple things for you then. You know how to boil things, right? You could turn on the stove, right? Put some water in the pot. You probably won't need them for a while though, but you can always practice making yourself some food just to get used to cooking. Just don't waste too much. Food is expensive, Win. It's really quite easy once you know your way around the kitchen. I suppose I could spend some of my free time learning how to cook. It'd be more productive than playing video games all day. Oh yeah. Malcolm doesn't have Cooking Mama. Where's the DS to go with the GameCube? Probably. Oh, I'll go put Malcolm to bed if you could clean up in here. I quickly scan the room and note that the empty bowls of cereal are still on the floor and DVD boxes are strewn about. Ooh. I nod in agreement, receiving a smile and a nod from Claudia in return. I gather up Malcolm's and my discarded bowls, then take them to the kitchen where I summarily wash them and set them to dry. After that, it was a simple matter of putting the DVDs back in their proper place in the TV cabinet. It didn't take long to accomplish the chores, but apparently it was long enough for Claudia to put Malcolm to bed. Despite her apparent exhaustion after work, she seemed to be in the mood to talk. Oh boy, here we go. It's only been a week, so she's probably still thinking she needs to check up on me. So, Malcolm tells me you want to come with us to church this Sunday. I did. That's wonderful. I hope you don't mind me saying so, but I didn't take you for the type. I'm not. But I require some guidance from Father Xander. I'm sure he will be delighted to do that. He definitely has a lot of advice to give. And I'm sure Minnie would love to see how you're doing too if you see her. She's been asking for updates about you every day at work. It's only been 4 days. I haven't had time to change. Hey, a lot can happen in 4 days. And given how Malcolm was talking when I was tucking him in, you two did a lot today, didn't you? Yes, we spent time with Tiffany. As you suggested. Oh, you finally met her. That's great. And did you two get along? I believe so. That's good. She's been a real godsend. I don't think I could have asked for a better babysitter than her. She even refused my offer to pay her. Can you believe that? Judging by how close Malcolm and her seemed, I think I can. So, did anything else happen? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep, music goes down. Now may be the moment to ask her about that phone call. She seems like she's in a pretty good mood, though, and bringing it up would definitely change that. Maybe she's better off not knowing. I can just keep this to myself and Xander. Or maybe I should tell her later when I have a better idea of what's going on. And who knows how she'll react I barely know her. Tell her about the abusive call. Now's not the right time. Probably not now. No. Probably best not to rock the boat. Especially when we still barely know each other. Besides, the less she knows that I know, the easier it will be to investigate. Well, she's gonna find out because it's not a new message. Only 2 people could have pressed that button. It'd be you or Malcolm. She may try to stop me from helping her, just like she apparently did to Xander and Minnie. Nothing really. Just played video games mostly. Well, if you think I'm gonna let you turn into a couch potato, then you've got another thing coming. I may just have a talk with Father Xander or Minnie about getting you a day job. Ha! Although, if I'm being serious... Uh-oh. Stranger danger! It really means a lot to me that you and Malcolm are getting along. Really. I don't mind at all. It's the least I can do. I know, but Malcolm doesn't have too many friends at school. In fact, Tiffany may be the only one he spends any time with. So I just want you to know that I really appreciate that you're willing to try and be his friend. The pink parasaur places a petite hand gently on my shoulder and gives it a small but firm squeeze. Really? Well, I'm going to get a drink of water and then turn in for the night. What about you? I think I will head to bed now. Alright. Good night, Win. Good night, Claudia. Rip the band-aid off. We'll come back. We'll do the other routes. We'll be fine. Returning to my room, I crawl into bed and consider what to do next. I think I made the right call in not telling her. No, it's gonna bite us in the ass because we didn't delete the message. I think we should have deleted the message and not said anything. I'll just have to make sure she's not around when I talk to Xander about it during church. Shouldn't be too hard. Resting my head, I begin to drift off to sleep. You fucking bitch! I jolt up and stare at the door. Oh, is she listening to the message? Oh, no. Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, shit. Beep. She found the message. I gotta blow my nose. Yeah, if we would have deleted it, this wouldn't have happened. Fuck. I didn't think she'd, like, check it that soon, but here we go. Damn it, how did... In a flash, I realized the error I made. The answering machine notifies the user of a message in 2 ways. The first with a red blinking light for a new message, and then a second is a number of display messages in the machine. Damn, I was hoping she wouldn't notice because the light went off when I replayed the call. But the number of messages, there was 0 in the machine before the call. She must have noticed there wasn't one there before. And worse, because the light wasn't blinking, it's a sign that somebody listened to it. Yeah, like I was, oh boy, we're digging ourselves a hole. Oh Lord. Namely, me. I hear footsteps approach the door and brace it to have it flung open and her to demand an explanation. But no such thing materializes. There's just a slight hesitation in her steps as she passes my door, but she just continues on into her room. She must know. But if she isn't ready to confront the issue, then neither am I. I lay back down into the bed, somewhat less easy than before. I don't get a whole lot of sleep that night. It's like I'm waiting for another show to drop. The whole time, but it never does. I do still get a couple of good hours in, though. 2 days later. So we don't even... Well, isn't church... No. Yeah, 2 days it'd be Sunday then. So we just don't talk about it. Okay. Sunday. Oh boy. We all rise bright and early in the morning and have ourselves a light breakfast of buttered toast and fruit. And of course, Claudia and I each find a moment to down a quick cup of coffee. After the quick breakfast, we all grab some warm clothes and exit into the very deceptive outdoors. It looked like it was green, sunny, and maybe a little warm. But the moment the door was opened, a frigid wind blew in and dispelled the illusion. After a few remarks on the temperature, we all piled into Claudia's car and drove it to St. Sadler's. I was given the unexpected invitation to sit in the front seat. I'd expected Malcolm to claim it, but he seemed to be quite happy in the back seat. It became obvious why he extracts some toy cars from his pocket and begins to use the back seat as a racetrack. No one's driving, it's one of those autonomous cars. It was a bit odd being in the passenger side seat, but until I get a car of my own, I just have to deal with it. In a moment, Claudia takes the driver's seat and we're off. Now we're moving. The pleasant pink parasaur assures me that I'll have a wonderful time and that the people there are extremely friendly. She also mentions that it will be an excellent opportunity to work on my social skills. I rarely nod in response as the church entrance comes into view. Oh no, Nazer! We got like a giant fucking Saurian woman. What is that, Stacy? There's quite a crowd of people here. I usually try to avoid these sorts of large groups if I can help it, especially where I'd be the only human. Makes it pretty easy to get spotted when everyone around you is a mess of bright feathers, wings, claws, and tails but you. Although they do make for a pretty good barrier if you can get to one side of them. Wonder why they're all out here in the cold instead of in the church. Claudia parks the car in the nearest available space and we disembark. The parasaur mother takes Malcolm's hand and they walk together towards the crowd. I am more hesitant than I expected to be in following them. It takes away from Claudia to spur me to catch up to the pair. Once we're all together, we started moving through the mingling parishioners towards the tall crest of the familiar Ceratops. Minnie! Well, good morning, darling! I see our favorite patient is returning to us as well. How have you been, Mr. Doe? Good. Recovered. Well, thank the Lord for that. The absolute state that you were in when we found you. But best not to dwell on all that. Are you here to join us in worship today? More or less. I wanted to talk to Father Xander, actually. Well, I could certainly let him know. I'm sure he'd be available to speak after service. As a matter of fact, I believe he mentioned that he wanted to talk with you too this morning when he was choosing today's sermon. I was hoping that we could talk a bit too, Minnie. I'm willing to work a shift today. Oh no. Claudia, you've already worked every day this week. Even the Lord rested on Sunday. Normally I would, but I'm going to need to buy extra groceries this week because, you know. Claudia's eyes glance in my direction. I didn't think I ate that much. Sigh. Can we talk about this after service when we're inside? Why is everyone out here anyway? I thought Saurians hated the cold. Before service, the sanctuary is reserved for the quiet contemplation and prayer, so gossiping is kept outside. It does make conversation kind of short in these winter months. Speaking of, you all should probably head inside and get out of this cold. Brr. You said it. You all go on ahead. Claudia, we'll talk after service. Right. Let's go, everyone. We head through the church's entrance into the foyer where Claudia and Malcolm deposit their winter clothes. Afterwards, we enter into the sanctuary proper, where the warm air and the quiet space offer a refreshing change to the outside. Claudia guided us to one of the long benches near the middle of the sanctuary and gestured for me and Malcolm to sit. We sat in the quiet of the room and waited, each of us retreating into our own thoughts. Although Malcolm's thoughts seemed to be focused on playing with one of his Hot Wheels that he was driving over his knees. He was being noticeably more quiet than he was in the car, though. Other parishioners begin to enter the sanctuary with increasing frequency. I notice as the room fills up that I am indeed the only human present. Some of the older Saurians that pass by and notice me do a bit of a double take. Those that do tend to, quickly or not so subtly, look away as I look towards them. It bothers me, but not because of any sort of racial factor. It's because they're noticing me, logging me into their memory, remembering me. I start feeling a prickling sensation of paranoia and regret creeping its way through my body. Every one of them could potentially lead to my discovery here. Bye, Nazer. For someone like me who has lived their lives up to this point as a ghost, with no history of connections whatsoever, it was quite unnerving sitting here and drawing so much attention. I suddenly feel something soft gently covering the top of my hand. Claudia had placed a comforting palm onto mine and gave it a reassuring pat. Don't be nervous. Everyone here is friendly. They just need a bit of time to get to know you. If you feel like you're being crowded, just say so and we can get you some fresh air, okay? It seems Claudia had picked up on my agitation, although she's a bit off the mark when it comes to the why. That being said, however, her hand does have a certain calming quality to it. I suppose I don't mind it. I return to scanning the crowd and spot Tiffany and her parents up near the front. They were currently chatting pleasantly with Minnie and Xander. Not for long, though, as Tiffany, Minnie, and Xander each broke off to take different positions at the back of the church. The priest takes position behind the altar, and Tiffany to a small gathering of Saurians of various ages. Minnie moves over to the cabinet near the back corner and opens it up. I just make out what appears to be the sound system and speakers inside of it. She presses a few buttons and... good old nondescript organ music. Guess no one here is musically inclined. Well, an organ is very, very expensive. Outside the choir, of course. The ceremony was certainly a novel experience for me. It begins with a hymn from the choir. Just as Malcolm promised, Tiffany stands out among the singers. Even one as lacking in musical interests as me can tell she has talent. In fact, as far as music goes, I find myself to be rather fond of what I'm hearing. I chalk that up to it being the only music I've actually taken the time to listen to in my life. What follows are various members of the congregation coming to the front to read passages from the Bible. More hymns and prayers are said in between these readings, until finally Father Xander takes the stand and begins a sermon. It's a story about the son of some rich man that traveled the world, indulging in a life of sin, only for it to come up hollow. Then the son returns once he is miserable and destitute, wherein his father welcomes him back in and forgives him for leaving. The moral being that no matter how far one strays, there is always a way back home. With special mention to the son that did not go gallivanting about being promised extra rewards for behaving. I couldn't help but feel somewhat targeted, but the old priest didn't make any gestures or overt looks towards me that I could detect. After the sermon came the communion, which Claudia and Malcolm took part in. I stayed seated as it seemed like something reserved for those who are actually part of the congregation. Besides, it would probably draw a lot of unnecessary attention to me. Probably. The Mass ended soon after, and with a closing prayer by Father Xander and one last hymn. No CG. With the ceremony over, the parishioners began to filter out until it was just a few lingering stragglers. Plus extremely hard to play. Yeah, I agree. Primarily Claudia, Malcolm, and myself. Well, that's it for Mass. What'd you think of your first time, Win? Do you think you'd like to join us again sometime? I liked it. Not really my thing. I felt like I didn't belong. Just say I liked it, I guess. It was alright, I suppose. I'm not sure I believe any of the scriptures, but I think I understand the appeal of all this. I liked it. It was, as you said, quite a pleasant experience. Well, that's wonderful to hear. The church is always looking for a new full-time member. I wanted to speak to Father Xander today. Wait, you wanted to speak to Father Xander today, right? Is that what you wanted to talk about? No, something else. Well, maybe if you're interested, you can add it into the conversation somewhere. Morning, Miss Grant. Hey, Malcolm. Good morning, Tiffany. Hi! That was some very lovely singing you did today. Aw, thanks, Mrs. Grant. Or Miss Grant. How are you doing, bud? I'm good. Do you want to play video games when you get home? You know I'm down for that. Mom, can I go play with Tiffany when we get back? Well, I was... Please? Pretty please. Fine, but at least let Tiffany's parents know first. Totally. Thanks, Miss Grant. Come on, dude. Yeah! Well, I guess we'll catch up later, after your talk with Father Xander. Yes. Alright then. If you need me, I'll just be waiting here. With a parting affirmative nod, walks towards the rear of the sanctuary where Xander is chatting with Minnie. Oh boy, hour and 30 minutes in already, that's crazy. And there's a Discord notification. Hold on. Who is notifying me? I'll take care of that later. Xander's bug eyes are always funny. Oh, hello there, Mr. Doe. Oh, Wayne, I was just telling Father Xander about how you wanted to speak with him. Yes, and I wanted to speak with you too, as it were. Minnie had mentioned that. Yes, I think I have something that may interest you, my son. If you don't mind, I prefer if we went to my office and discussed it, though. I could certainly use a nice chair after all this standing around. Very well, lead the way. Which reminds me that Claudia wanted to talk to me about working a shift today. So I'll let you two get to it. I'll speak to you later about those charity events, Father. Of course, thank you, Minnie. So, shall we? Oh, I haven't seen this one before. Can't really read the books. Dino time. Ah, here we are. Please, have a seat. Now, let's start with what you wanted to talk about. How are things going with Claudia? Has a more domestic lifestyle been to your liking? Claudia has been very accommodating. I'm still adjusting to my current circumstances. She has been a very patient guide in that regard. Ah, good. But that's not what I've come here to discuss. No, I suspect not. You've discovered Claudia's problem, then? Someone who I suspect to be Malcolm's father left a message for her that I overheard. It was not pleasant. And what did you do? I did not tell her about it. I believed it was best that she did not know about it. However, I didn't delete it either, and she found it. I think she knows I heard it, but she hasn't mentioned it. Nor will she, I think. So long as she doesn't have to confront the problem, she's happy to pretend it doesn't exist. Quite the conundrum, that. I don't see how she lets it go on. He provides her with all the evidence she's ever need to bring him to court. It would bring him to court, yes, but not solve the problem. What do you mean? Going to court costs money. Money you have, Win. Winning in court costs a lot of money. Money that I'm sure you've noticed Claudia does not have. Maybe that's one of the reasons he tapped me to help Claudia. Hoping that I feel enough sympathy for her problem to bankroll on a court case. Maybe, if it really comes down to it, I'll help out a little. But I didn't steal all that money to spend it on some kind of legal battle. Although I wouldn't mind chipping in some of the money on groceries now that I think about it. Claudia does seem to rely on bringing back food from work. Just need to think of an excuse as to where the money is coming from. And as I'm sure you heard, there's a danger that Malcolm will be taken from her, which is no idle threat. Who is he? I wish I could tell you, but I'm afraid that doing so would breach the confidence I have with Claudia on the matter. It would be best if you earned her trust enough that she tells you the story herself, or you discover it on your own. However, I believe all the answers you need are available to you if you look for them. So I should snoop around? Wouldn't that be betraying her trust? You could do some snooping, I suppose, but I advise against it. Rummaging through people's things isn't the only way to learn about someone, you know. It's the most expedient, and the most likely way to upset the person you're investigating when you're caught. Huh. What about my problem? Nothing new on that front yet. Not a peep from Alphonse or his minions, in fact, which my friends at the VBPD say is quite odd. They were expecting to hear about some kind of citywide effort to track you down by now. You know, the usual bout of strong-arming civilians, threats, bribes, and general rambunctious behavior. But there's nothing. Quite odd. It's only been a week. Maybe they're still mobilizing a search. Then again, given Alphonse's reputation, it's unlikely that it'd be quite a quiet affair. There's definitely something strange about it. And the second thing? Something completely mundane, which I'm sure will be quite refreshing. Helping Claudia sort out being harassed by an ex-lover isn't enough, I guess. But mundane doesn't sound so bad. You know how to drive a van, I assume? Yes. One of my favorite vehicles, in fact, very spacious, carries a lot of cargo, can really stretch out when sleeping in one. Well then, I have an opportunity for you. Our church assists in quite a few charity events around the city, and we are currently without a dedicated driver. So we need someone to drive our drive out Church's van to deliver supplies to events around the city. Additionally, the church van provides some of the senior members of the parish with transportation to and from Mass. If you're willing to perform these tasks, you can use the van for certain personal errands and the rest of the time. Plus, you'll get a small stipend that will usually cover gas with a little extra. Sounds generous of you. Well, we usually offer this service to the homeless who are trying to get back on the horse. But considering the circumstances, you may have greater need of transportation. The job does come with provisions, of course, such as, well, when you're not using the van and its keys have to remain here. Don't personalize it with anything that could be considered crude or in poor taste. And don't take it to any strip joints if you have yourself a party in the back, to name a few. Some of our previous drivers struggled with temptation. But don't fret about the past mistakes of others. The stains and smells of their failures have all been washed away. Uh-oh. Oh, they've been dirtying the car. Now we'll make sure that you aren't being sent on any events that delve too close to Alphonse's territory. How comforting. But as long as they got the smell out, it won't be the worst thing that I've ever driven. And a functioning vehicle that smells a little off is better than no vehicle at all. Alright, I'll do it. Splendid! I think Minnie put the keys around here somewhere. No, not there. Ah, here they are. Should we go have a look then? Yes. The Freakmobile. Just don't use a black light in the back. There they are. How was your talk? Quite productive, I'd say. Mr. Doe has agreed to be our new driver. Oh, thank goodness. Wynne, that's wonderful news. Wow, they both seem pretty excited about it. It's not that big of a deal, is it? We've been looking for a driver for that old van for a while. Ever since the difficulties we had with the last one. You have no idea how much this is going to help us all. Oh, I could just give you a big old hug. That's not... Oh... Dead. My bones let out a small series of pops and cracks as the tall Ceratops woman hoists me into a tight hug. Minnie, gently! He's still recovering. Alright. Sorry about that. I forget that humans are a little squishier than saurians. Are you okay, Wynne? Yes. In a bit of pain, but nothing broken. Probably. I swear, Minnie. Well, Wynne, if you're done talking to Father Xander, Malcolm and I are about ready to head out. I was about to go get Wynne acquainted to the van, but I suppose that can wait for later if he'd prefer. Now is fine. Are you sure? It's a bit of a walk back home, and I'm going to drop Malcolm over at Tiffany's and then get ready for work. No one will be there when you get back. I'll be fine. I'll stay with Malcolm and Tiffany until you return. Alright. But I'll leave the spare key on the inside of the porch light for you to get back in if you come back before I'm there. I'm going to be back around dinner time tonight, so I'll leave you an easy recipe you can make for yourself and Malcolm. Just so you two don't eat all the cereal again. I still don't quite understand why that doesn't count as dinner. Okay. Well then, see you later tonight, Wynne. And have a safe walk home. See you later. And I'll get you that event calendar by the end of the week, Father. Very good. Well, run along, you two. It sounds like you've got a full day ahead of you. Goodbye, and have a blessed rest of the day. Right. Now, on to the van. St. Bay's. Phone. I need to zoom. Contact us at 555-1212-5432 if you... Yeah, that'll probably get you a number somewhere. Probably not to a church. Here we are. Why don't you give it a once-over to see what you think? The van appears to be in good condition. A little wear and tear here and there, but otherwise it looks suitable for getting around. It also comes with free advertising, so if I do get seen by one of Alphonse's goons, I'm as good as dead. Not a lot of miles on it yet. It has plenty of passenger seating. I poke my head into the front of the seat and give a few questioning sniffs of the interior. It does smell like it's been cleaned. Should be just right for my needs. Not at all attention-grabbing. A fair amount of room for cargo, even with all the seats. It looks good. Glad you think so. Would you like to give it a spin? Yes. Xander casually tosses the keys over to me. It's barely an instinct to catch them and then mount up the inside of the van. No. Just boom, out of here. I perform a few laps with the van around the parking lot of St. Sadler's. Once I get a feel for the vehicle, I replace it back in its original parking space. Upon exiting, Father Xander is there waiting. I hold out the keys for him as he extends his aged hand. Instead of grabbing the keys from me, he instead takes hold of my hand and gives it a firm shake. Welcome to the team, Wynn. I'm looking forward to working with you. The handshake was unexpected, and I barely thought to comply with the gesture before it was over. He did take the keys with him as he pulled his arm away and said he'd see me next week to give me what routes I'd need. With that, he bid me a good day and returned to the confines of the church. I began my walk to Tiffany's house. There we are again. The walk to Tiffany's is a good 15-minute trip from the church, same as Claudia's. It is a pleasant journey. There wasn't a strong breeze, so the winter air didn't bite at my nose and ears. The refreshing atmosphere and the length of the walk gives me plenty of time to think. And a nice little bit of exercise. However, in the quiet of the walk, my thoughts drift back to the conversations I had with Father Xander today. Father Xander thinks I can figure out who Claudia's harasser is, or at least get a good guess. So let's think. He's probably rich, considering Father Xander brought up money being an issue. My guess is that he'll pay lawyers to run defense until Claudia is bankrupt and is forced to give up. And if he's rich, he's probably got a fair amount of influence, too. That may be why he feels like he can be so careless with these harassment calls. You know what? I'm going to call it now. I'm going to say the father's with Alphonse's gang. Calling it. He thinks he's untouchable or something. Could also be why he's even harassing her and Malcolm in the first place. Might have a scandal if he had an illegitimate kid. But as to who he is, well, Claudia has some professional medical training. Up until now, I just assumed she may have been taught by Father Xander. But thinking back to how dodgy she and Minnie were about it, maybe Claudia was a nurse or even a doctor and got into a relationship she shouldn't have. So I might be looking for a doctor or something near the top of the totem pole. It's a start, I suppose, but it's just guessing with no real way to confirm it. I might be able to find something to prove the theory from those boxes in the closet. It'll probably take a while to sift through them, though. Though not as long as doing whatever kind of investigation Xander expects me to do. Feeling satisfied with my theory concerning Claudia's issues, I turn my thoughts to my own problems. The news that there's no ruckus being raised weighs particularly heavy on my mind. It's impossible that someone like Alphonse isn't tearing the city apart looking for me. If not because his money was stolen, then that it was a human that stole it. He definitely can't be too happy about that. And with the way I botched my exit... Wait. Alphonse's daughter, Deidre. She was the only one I know for sure that got a good look at me. Only her and her two other guys... Wait, her and two other guys were right there that night. He was against her father's bloodthirsty tendencies and was trying to think of some way to oust him. And she was looking for something to use to set herself up as the leader of the coup. If Deidre was telling the truth, all the lieutenants are dissatisfied with his lack of interest in making money. What better way to convince the others the old lizard is slipping than millions of dollars being stolen from under his snout? And because she was the only one there, and the cameras weren't recording, she could let me get away. I was exactly what she needed. Some random idiot to shake things up. One that allows her to point out how inept her father is. That's probably why it's so quiet. She's probably pushing whatever story she wants while rallying support against her father. And no matter which way things go, someone's going to come looking for the money eventually. A brisk wind blows across my face, making me aware that I've been so lost in thought that I stopped moving. Renewing my pace, I consider what I should do about my situation, presuming my theory is correct. The smart thing to do may be to just drive off into the night with the cash and not look back. But I will be running for the rest of my life. Nobody involved in this will just let it go. I'll go from surviving on the road to being hunted once this gang's internal conflict sorts itself out. Not even sure I'll be able to get out of the country in time, or if that will even help. Which means my best option is still hiding out here and relying on Xander's promise of protection. At least here, things seem stable enough. Not that I want Claudia or Malcolm wrapped up in any of this. They have enough problems without me bringing this madness down on them. But I don't want to just leave them high and dry either. If Thug's working for Alphonse, or Deidre if things go her way, track my trail to them and I'm not there. They don't deserve that. I commit to stay here for now and keep laying low, and I increase my pace back to Tiffany's house. The X is actually just Alphonse. Well, I think if it was Alphonse, it'd be louder. Alphonse talks in bold text. If that's the case, then Bro's DNA didn't try at all. Here we are. I think we'll wrap up the house segment here, and then because my nose is getting clogged, dude. I can already hear Malcolm cheering Tiffany on as she's playing something through the door. I wonder if Tiffany's parents will be here this time. Oh, imagine meeting them and it... What if they're connected to the gang somehow? That'd be nuts. Although honestly, I don't know if that would make things more or less awkward. Once again, I hear the noise of the game go quiet and then the light thumping of feet approaching the door. Oh, hey, Win. You here to pick up Malcolm or hang out? I guess I'm here for the latter. Is that something adults usually do with kids? I always say that without sounding weird. Claudia won't be back until around dinner. So I thought I'd keep an eye on Malcolm until then. So, you here to hang out? Yes. If it's alright with your parents. They're not here. Again? Yeah, they work all the time, but you were at church. They're working, and you went to church by yourself. That's crazy. It's almost not believable. Dad's always at the Air Force Base, and my mom works at the mayor's office, so they're always busy. So, sounds like they're not in the gang. It's always just me and my bro most days. And I'm assuming bro is Malcolm? You have a brother? Yeah, dude, you live with him. Yeah, I called it. I just got here. Does the MC have a shadow that follows him around? Something like that. That's just his design. He really is Ryan Gosling. Ah, you mean Malcolm? Yeah, I mean he may as well be with how much time we spent together. Anyways, come on and grab a seat, dude. I'm freezing my snout off in this doorway. Hi, Win. Hello, Malcolm. He seems pretty excited for me to see me for only having been an hour or so. Why didn't you come with Mom if you wanted to come over to Tiffany's? You could have drove here with us. Drove. Oh. You could have drove here with us. I had to have a talk with Father Xander. About what? Jinx! Aw. Ah, got you, bud. You owe me a soda. Okay. Can we share it? Yeah, sure. Okay. What an odd ritual. So what did you talk about? Alright. I've agreed to drive the church's van. I'm starting to get that frog in my throat, man. I'll be picking up people on Sundays and assisting with charity events. Oh. So you're like a bus driver now? I suppose that's accurate. Bit of a step down from test driving for stunt cars, though. I merely shrug in response. Well, hey, if it's a set of wheels, right? Indeed. Anyways, grab a seat already. Tiffany's playing Kingdom Souls. It's really cool. Ah, yes. She was playing this the last time I was here. I wonder if I can really actually discern what's going on this time. I could not, in fact, discern what the plot of the game was, even after several hours of watching it. Malcolm explaining things to me in only a way a young child can did not particularly help either. The villains were apparently the soulless. Oh no. Oh, no soul. No soul. The soulless who wanted to do something involving darkness. Except in Kingdom Souls 2, wherein the actual villains were revealed to be the Empty, which had a group that also wanted to do something with the darkness and rule the place known as Kingdom Souls, all of which revolved around opening doors of darkness on various worlds by the evil organization. The protagonist, a locksword user, had to seal these doors to darkness with the help of famous cartoon characters. There was also another locksword user that was the protagonist's friend, but he turned evil, and then turned good again. Tiffany mentioned that you can hear the Kingdom Hearts in the background. Literally the menu music. Did somebody say the door to darkness? I still say he looks like an alternate from Mandela Catalog. Yeah, that one shadowy figure that has like that crater in his head that's just shadow and an eyes peeking out. It's also been shown in, what was it, World of Horror? Sephiroth. Tiffany mentioned that I definitely seemed a lot like him. Oh no, the Riku type. Oh no. Something about me being brooding and quiet. But in a cool way, which I didn't really understand. But the whole session, there was a lot of talk about souls, darkness, friends, empties, and locks. All I can really agree with, as it is explained to me, is that the music was good. Or enjoyable, at least. Eventually, I notice it's time for Malcolm and I to return back to his house. Malcolm, it's time. Okay. Right, I'll get the game. I suppose I should do something with myself instead of just standing here. Help Malcolm with his coat, or wait by the door. Well, we can help him with his coat, I suppose. Malcolm needed help with his coat last time, so I suppose I could do that. Right. Let's get you your coat and junk. I have it prepared. Oh. Okay, cool. Well, go on, little dude. Don't keep the guy waiting. Strange, the kid seems confused for some reason, or nervous. Maybe the shift in the usual routine caught him off guard or something. He's autistic! He's autistic! It's not that big of a deal, is it? Anyways, let's get on with it. I present the coat and hat to the young boy, who extends his arms to make it easier for me to dress him. It's a simple enough process, and I remember enough from observing Tiffany do it before. Arms through the sleeves, one hat goes over the tail, and in a few moments the boy is ready for the outdoors. Ready? The boy just stares at me as if he doesn't know what to do. Getting a bit confused by his inaction myself, I decide to extend a hand to the young parasaur. Maybe I just need to pull him along a bit to snap him out of whatever funk he's in. He stares at it like he's never seen a hand before, and for a long moment remains motionless. But eventually... Well, there you go. New sprite. He takes my hand and sidles up next to me with a big grin on his face. Ready. Alright then. Goodbye, Tiffany. Bye, Tiffany. Later, dudes. After leaving out of the front door, I expected Malcolm to release my hand. Instead, his small hand gripped mine tightly as we started walking. Buff Riku, and then he starts tism tweaking. Yeah, he falls flat to the ground, starts slamming like his legs and arms against the floor, screaming. And then we learned that butterflies came from caterpillars because they use metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Yeah! But like they change completely from a worm to a bug. It'd be cool if people could do that. Why can't you do that? Why can't you be like me? You're the wrong species. Turn into bugs? No! Turn from one thing into another. Well, depending on if he's willing to count changing identities, they can. I do that all the time. I turn into a... Oh no, uh-oh. Uh-oh. I turn into a car. The autism is strong with this one, man. He's gonna make a Disney's car OC. Dude's already getting his DeviantArt account ready in advance. Not surprising to hear that. What about you? Me? Yeah! Not sure. I need to think about it. What about a monster, like a dragon? Those are cool. Aren't monsters usually bad guys? Yeah, but they're still cool. I wonder if he'd still think that after meeting Alphonse. Besides, even if you did turn into a monster, we'd still be friends, right? I don't think monsters have friends. Oh. So you can't be a monster because you're friends with me? Yeah, I guess so. The boy's smile brightened a little more upon hearing that. And Mom too, right? I'd say so. What about Tiffany? Yes. And Miss Minnie? Sure. Malcolm proceeded to list out everyone he knew, which is not as long as a list as I was expecting. After confirming that I was friends with all of them, he began going on multiple tangents at once. He sure is a lot more talkative today. Usually when he talks to me, he sticks to cars, video games, and things Tiffany does. Today, though, he's talking about all sorts of things. He seems to be hanging on everything I say, and his grip on my hand hasn't loosened either. But he seems a lot happier, too. And seeing that it reminds me when Claudia put her hand on mine this morning. Like I'm wanted. It's quite a different sort of feeling. Not really sure how to respond to it, honestly. But if I could spend more time like this, I might consider just staying as private window for a while. Even with the whole being hunted by mobsters thing, it just might be worth it. Probably. I think so, anyway. I didn't do much more talking for what little time we had left on this walk, but Malcolm made up for it. He jumped from one topic to another so fast that it was like he was trying to talk about them both at once. I politely listened along and nod on occasion as Claudia's house came into view. Returning to the house, the key is right where Claudia said it'd be. Only now does Malcolm release my hand enough for me to extract the key from its hiding extract the key from its hiding place, if I could talk. The house is indeed empty when we enter, and the only sign of Claudia having been there is a piece of paper on the kitchen table. Alright. It doesn't feel like a place to stop, so maybe we'll go until the end of the day. I don't know. Yeah, cars and dragons do not pair well. Oh no, where's Horu? Don't tell Horu. Oh no, oh no. I forgot what old cartoon was, but it was about a kid that can turn into a car. I don't remember. I don't even think, it doesn't even feel like it exists. On it was an easy to follow recipe for fried rice and vegetables. Malcolm had put his coat and things away while I was gathering all the supplies. After a quick perusal of the kitchen to find all the ingredients, I affirmed that I can manage cooking the dish. God damn, I cannot talk, and I'm already out of water. I mean, we are at the 2-hour mark, and I'm already struggling. A shrimp fried this rice. But to my surprise, Malcolm offered to help instead of watching cartoons or playing one of his games. Seeing no reason to not accept, we spent some more time going over the instructions before getting started. After going over everything once or twice, I've effectively memorized the recipe and get cooking. Malcolm's help mostly consists of standing next to me reading the instructions and pointing to what I need next. While it slows the process down a fair bit, I find myself not minding the distraction. It seems he's rather enjoying being helpful, more so than if he were playing video games or watching cartoons. And it is rather enjoyable having him around, despite the delays. His excitement, pretty infectious. However, it does mean that we are in the middle of making the meal by the time Claudia comes home. From the moment she saw Malcolm and I, a truly genuine smile spread over her face. The kitchen was a bit of a disaster zone, but she didn't seem to mind. And what's going on here? Hi, Mom! I'm helping Win make dinner! I can see that. And how are things going on that front, Win? Is Malcolm being a good helper? Are you two getting along? Yes, I'd say so. Yeah, Win's great. Good. That's good. Dinner will be ready soon. Well, don't mind me then. I'll let you two chefs get back to it. And just in time, too, the rice was about to burn. Claudia leaned against the entryway and remained to watch her son and I put the finishing touches on dinner. And there was a look in her eyes I hadn't seen before, or at least one she hadn't looked at me with before now. I decided to just focus on finishing the food instead of trying to discern what a look like that may mean. Fortunately, the rice and vegetables were just about done. Sensing the meal's imminent completion, Malcolm took a spot at the table with his mother, while I prepared some plates. Less than a minute later, the dishes had scoops of what I considered a nice-looking serving of fried rice on them. I decided to ferry the plates to the table one at a time instead of trying to replicate Claudia's technique. Once the places were set, a playful cheer rose up from the parasaur, and dinner we finally got started eating. Conversation was sparse while we were eating, but what little there was seemed more cheerful than previous meals. Malcolm did most of the talking, the majority of which was just retelling the conversations we had from our walk. Claudia especially seemed to be put at ease by the exuberant storytelling. She obviously enjoyed listening to the boy, but in particular about how well we got on. Although she did have to remind him not to talk with his mouth full every so often, and then... It was comforting seeing her like this. I didn't know exactly why, but I don't question it. It's enough that everyone is happy and everything is stable. That's it. Overall, despite the simple meal, it was one of the best ones I ever had. Something about the mood elevated the whole experience. Afterwards, I took it upon myself to do cleanup as well, considering I made the mess. And some of my instincts of my profession were screaming in the back of my mind to not leave a trace of myself. The two parasaurs, meanwhile, had both gotten into some much more comfortable clothes and went to watch a movie on the couch. When I joined them after tidying up the kitchen, I found them nestled together much like the last time, taking my usual spot at the far end of the couch. We spent the rest of the evening quietly enjoying the movie. Oh god, Malcolm looks tired. Alright, time for bed. Okay. Go on and get your PJs on. I'll be along in a bit. Uh-huh. Good night, Win. Good night, Malcolm. Claudia lingered a few moments longer than normal, wearing that same look as before. It looked as if there was something she was thinking about saying. Good night. But whatever it was, she apparently decided to put it aside for the usual farewell. Good night. What a day. Most of my heists were less exhausting than this, including the last one. But at least it's over now. All I want to do is crawl into bed and sleep. I proceed to do just that, more or less. I do more of a roll onto my bed and enjoy the simple softness of it for a while as I let my mind drift. It's a rather relaxing end to a day that had, that morning, given me a great deal to think about. But my thoughts were not of dealing with foul-mouthed harassers or of evading murderous gangsters. They were about talks of bugs and crazy video game plots and a dozen other things Malcolm and I spoke of during our walk. Most persistent of all of them was the lingering image of the look Claudia gave me and how much I liked it. How much I liked it that it was towards me. The thought of it fluttered through me as I finally fell into a deep slumber. 1 month later, holy shit. No, we're saving on that. 1 month later. No, we're good. We'll probably, it's probably like, what, an hour left? And even then, we can still tie up loose ends with, like, with the other choices. I'll turn this down a bit. Even rough art can grow on you if the rest is fine. It's funny how he casually wears his gloves all the time. Appreciate the length of the story. Dancing towards tomorrow. Please take notes. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty chunky demo. Like old time, what is it? Mwani Gator. That was like a 5-hour demo. I like it. And we're still not done, and we're probably gonna get another stream. I don't know when. I need, you know what I need to do? I need to go to the pharmacy and look for some kind of medicine that clears me up a bit more, you know? The fear is it's gonna clear me up, but then it's gonna dry me out. It's more than an hour. Well, that's good. Oh god. Snort some pepper. No, thank you. I already have enough coffee, or the sneezing fits sometimes. I'll figure this out one way or another. But yeah, I'll wrap it up. I'm gonna take it easy. My innards, my throat, my sinuses are all clogged, and I want to go get that taken care of. So, get out of here. We'll see what tomorrow or Wednesday brings for another visual novel stream for this. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. I'm gonna go take it easy.